everyone. In today's video, we are going to be talking about hardening plants off before transplant time. These plants have been growing indoors for weeks and it is time for them to be transplanted, but first I need to harden them off. So that's what we're going to be focusing on, is hardening them off. I have a different variety of plants. Come join along with me. I'm going to go inside and show you the grow room where these plants actually first initially came from. Let's go. When you start your seeds indoors, all these seedlings need to be transplanted and hardened off before they are just placed in your garden. The environment for seedlings indoors is very controlled. I mean, look at this. The temperature is at 72, okay? And then the humidity ranges between 48 to 51. So it's a very nice steady temperature in this grow room. And then there's a fan, and then there's grow lights. So the environment is just all controlled, plus they're not dealing with the outdoor harsh temperatures. And so that's why it's really important to harden your plants off little by little, which I'm going to show you how to do before they are actually directly planted into your garden outside. When you're starting to harden off your plants, you really want to pay attention to what the weather is, okay? And because they are babies, they still need some help with that transition. And so one way that you can help your seedlings is paying attention to the overcast. If there's an overcast, that's a really great day to start it out, because if the sun pops out, it's going to scorch these. You really want to protect it really on those first couple of days by giving it about 2 hours of shaded area. So right here, my patio area, it's shaded, it's covered, and so it's not going to get any sun. Now, I know that the sun comes over in the afternoon, so by the time afternoon comes, these babies are back inside underneath the grow lights and back indoors in the grow room, because if I leave them out, the sun might do harm to it and scorch it, okay? And then, so what you do is, as the days progress, each day you want to give it about 2 hours here, 2 hours there. Try it out in the morning, try it out in the afternoon, and then maybe try it out in the evening time, so that the plants get used to trying different temperatures, morning, afternoon, and evening, and then even a little bit of nighttime so that it can have some of the cooler temperatures. And you want to do this over maybe at least a week. Some people like to do it up to 2 weeks, and it really also depends on how extreme your temperatures are. So if you know that your temperatures are extreme and you're starting pretty early in the growth season before it's actually even spring with your cold frost hardy plants, then you really need to give it the time, even 2 weeks, to really get acclimated, because once it goes out and if it gets a hard freeze or if it gets some harsh temperatures and you need to cover it as well, then it might really suffer. And I did experience that. So I was rushing it, and don't rush it. Just take the time that the plant needs, okay? So that's why I had to start a whole new tray over again, because I rushed it and I didn't cover it, and then I moved it to an area where there was not full sun, because by this time my plants were ready for full sun. So I put them out and it wasn't a full sun. I was rushing to go to work, and I put it out in an area where it did not have any sun. And so the temperatures were kind of slightly at frost, and it froze it, and they just wilted over when I got home. So don't do that. Do the opposite of that, because they were doing perfectly fine for the 2 weeks. I was putting them out in the full sun area. There was a drop in temperature, but it was not harming it. So you really want to pay attention to where you're locating it, whether it's shade, whether it's not shade. You really want to pay very close attention to that. So as the days continue, then you're going to move them out to different environments. So I will move it out from here to outside of this enclosed area, and I'll take it out to outdoors, nearer to the garden, just in a place that's off of the ground, maybe like on a table. I have a moving table, and I will show you that, just so that it can get really used to being outside. And then you work it up to 4 hours, then 6 hours, then 8 hours. And the next thing you know, you're leaving it out for a full day and night. All right. So that's how you harden off your plants. I'm going to show you the table that I'm actually been moving it to and moving it around. I find it to be very mobile, because I can push it and then push it back into the garage in the evening time, and then push it out into the morning. So let me show you. So what exactly is hardening off your plants? Well, hardening off your plants is when you are slowly acclimating your plants to the weather outdoors. These seedlings have been inside for weeks, and they've been in my nice, comfortable grow room, and it needs to be now outdoors. So your plants now have to acclimate to the wind, the transition in temperatures from cold to hot. Maybe you have frost. Maybe there's rain, there's sun, and there's all different reasons why these plants need to be acclimated. If you were just to drop them in the garden, they probably would be stressed out. They probably would have some kind of sunburn. They probably have some kind of shock, and they need to be slowly acclimated to the temperature. And what happens, you can actually feel it on the leaves. I can feel it when my plants are more acclimated because the texture of the leaves start to toughen up. And it's almost like this waxy kind of feeling that I feel on them. And it's like this layer that's on the leaf that forms, that toughens them up for the outdoor temperature. I actually literally can feel them acclimating to the weather outside because the leaves start feeling a lot different. So it's very important. That is the reason why you should harden your plants. If you really care about them, because you put a lot of time and energy and patience into them, take the time to harden them off, okay? That's why I'm thinking I might get a greenhouse at some point, just because it's an extra step of the less of the transition of the weather or temperature, or maybe even a hoop house. That would be great. That'd be a nice future plan. But in the meantime, you do what you can do with what resources you have and what environment that you have. Just harden them off the way they need to be. I hope you liked this video and that it was helpful. As a beginner gardener, for me, there was a lot of new processes and things that I had to learn to help me grow as a gardener. So if you like this video, you learned something, give me a thumbs up, like this video, and also subscribe to my channel because I will be pushing out many other videos throughout this growing season. But remember to grow leafy, and I will see you next time.